Here's how you calculate your heart rate zones so that you actually get the most out of your training. Today, I did a kettlebell workout with my class and I wanted people to focus on being in zone 2. Now somebody asked me, well, how do I know where my zone 2 is? So you're going to need to know 2 different pieces of information for this to make it personal to you. The first thing is knowing what your maximum heart rate is. So we're going to use MHR for short, and then you're going to need to know what your resting heart rate is, and that's RHR for short. Now most of us have got technology by using a watch or another heart rate device, and you can often get that through the data on your phone. For argument's sake today, I'm going to make the numbers really simple. So I'm going to say your maximum heart rate could be something like 180. Now, you might see some places that max heart rate is given as something like 220 minus your age. Now that's going to be a very, very broad term because someone that is 40 years old doesn't mean that they are going to have 180 as their resting heart rate, their maximum heart rate, because there are different physiological reasons as to why that might be. And just to make the numbers simple for today, let's just say their resting heart rate is going to be 60. Now, your heart rate reserve is going to be the difference between these two here. So it's going to be your maximum heart rate, subtract your resting heart rate. So for today's example, we're going to say that's going to be 120. Now that number is going to be pretty important for us to get started. So it's going to be often reported to have 5 different heart rate zones, where zone 1 is going to be where you're working less than 60%, zone 2 being between 60 and 70, zone 3 70 and 80, zone 4 80 to 90, and then zone 5 90 up to 100%. And the one that we want to focus on today is of zone 2, where we're looking at 60 to 70%, because what we actually want to work out is what the minimum boundary for zone 2 is and the maximum boundary for zone 2 is. So your training zone is going to be equal to your heart rate reserve multiplied by the percentage intensity, and then we add on your resting heart rate. So in this example, to work out the lower end for our zone 2 here, okay, we're going to need to do 120 multiplied by 0.6, because that's how you find 60% of a number. And then we're going to add on 60. That's going to give us 132. And if we do the same thing, but for 70%, 120 multiplied by 0.7, add on that 60 again. That's going to give us 144. So the 2 values that we're interested in this example are 132 and 144 beats per minute. If you're going to go into a training session now, where you're deliberately trying to keep your heart rate into zone 2, you would be looking to keep your heart rate between 132 and 144. If you're looking for a zone 2 workout, which doesn't involve running, cycling, or using a piece of cardio equipment in the gym for hours, and maybe you're considering using just a single kettlebell, you should check out the video in the description and let me know how you get on.